You're tuned in to Shake, Rattle, and Goal, the official podcast of your Springfield Thunderbirds.
Pekka's there on the backhand, scoring the save, rebound in the crease, they score!
Hosted by Matt Baker and Steve Forney. A show that's everything Springfield hockey, with interviews including players, coaches, and staff.
The Springfield Indians repeat as the Calder Cup champions.
Listen to this podcast on all major streaming platforms and wherever you download podcasts.
In his first year at the helm, Kevin McDonald and Drew Bannister have the TBirds in the Calder Cup Finals.
Watch the podcast on the official Shake, Rattle, and Goal YouTube page at SRG Podcast. And now, here are your hosts, Matt Baker and Steve Forney. And this episode number 4 of season 3 of the Shake, Rattle, and Goal podcast is proudly brought to you by our friends at the TDS Center for Communication and Social Learning at 413-835-0735, by our friends at MassCon United Training Center, 413-301-6040. They are in Agawam for all of your sports and coaching needs. And by our friends at Landscaping That Fits. Real quick, right now, you can save 20% on your 2026 fertilizing program if you sign up before December 31st with our buddy Rob. So definitely something there to take advantage of. Alongside Matt Baker, I'm Steve Forney. What's up, Matt?
How we doing? I don't call it sweater weather, right? But I am now in my winter hat weather. So this is me, right? The winter hat and fun time of year.
Love it. I love it. So obviously we have one coming off of the weekend, and I just want to preface this show by saying that you people out there, you who listen, you guys know that I am an employee of the team. All right. My job with the team is way more important than this podcast, with all due respect, Matt. So, and I know you understand that. So yes. If you expect me to come in here and start calling out guys and smashing the team to smithereens, I'm not going to do that. My personal feelings will not affect my job with the team. So will I talk about the weekend and what I saw on the ice and how it went? Of course I will. But if you're looking for me to rip them, ear to ear, I'm not going to do that. Matt, you don't work for him. You can do whatever you want. But that just so people don't think I'm some sort of softy. Maybe I am, but that's how I'm going to operate.
I totally, yes, 100%. I would hit the mute button if you started to go on a rant, because we don't want that for you.
No. And I do the final editing, so when I watch it back and I see something I don't like, I'm just gonna snipe it right out of there.
Well played. All right, let me first. Congratulations, Leo Loof. Round of applause, Leo Loof. Finally, his first AHL goal. Not his first AHL point, as he's had plenty of assists, but first AHL point in over 2+ years. So congratulations, Leo Lou.
Best skater on the ice this weekend for the Thunderbirds.
Aside from the goalies, from start to finish, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday night, he's up there.
He was excellent.
Let me say this, 2 different approaches here. First, let me just say, and sort of to piggyback off of what you said a little bit. This week wasn't good. It was not good. I don't think that's not a surprise. If you've watched any of those 3 games, it's not good. The fact that it also, you're not playing 3 games against Providence or Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, or, you played 2 games against the Wolfpack, who are not good either. So this was a bad week. I am just going to share my opinion here, and I am going to kind of rant towards some of the fans, but this is my personal opinion, and I'm not going to put anybody's name out there. I totally think, as a fan, it is perfectly acceptable to not be happy with your team's performance and say that. I know this is perspective. Different people have different opinions on here. There are some people who think those guys are out there trying hard. Don't criticize them. I don't believe that. That's just how I feel as a fan. I don't have the mindset that oh, these athletes are there for my entertainment and I'm in. No, like I'm not that kind of fan, but as a fan of a professional sports team, and I'm a fan of the New York Giants.
Condolences.
Okay. Yes, right. Yeah. You can respectfully, without making it personal, when your team is playing bad, say they are playing bad. And I'm going on this little rant because I did see some back and forth on social medias of some people being upset with how the team is playing and then kind of getting attacked in comments of like, they're, don't talk bad about this. I'm a fan. I'm going to watch the next game. I paid for Flow TV. I'm going to cheer the team on all season long. That's part of being a fan. But you can't sit there and say and sugarcoat it. Sports is about winning. Somebody's got to win. Somebody's got to lose. But at the end of the day, sports, and especially professional sports and professional athletes, you are out there competing to win. End of story, right? Like, that's it. So when you lose 3 games in a row, it's not the end of the world, but it's also in context how you lose them. And I am very disappointed. Now off the fans. Fans, leave each other alone. If some people want to rant and say the team played bad, let them say the team played bad because it's not a lie. I'm still going to be in the Thunderdome in a few weeks. I'm still going to be watching every single game on my couch with my kids. We're still going to be cheering for the team. Have no ill feelings. So they played bad. And it's okay to say that. That's one. Now, in context of how they lose, we've talked about this, good loss, moral victories, this, that, and the other thing. They are getting out-hustled and outworked on the boards, in the corner. I've seen a season's worth of icing. What are you doing? It's just bad hockey. And I'm sorry, like I'm telling you what I'm seeing. It's bad hockey. And I've been thinking about, how do I want to approach this? And I do take pride in my preseason breakdown of where I think the team is going to be. And folks, we are 6 games in too. So I'm not writing this team off as a lost season. Nobody should. Team can rattle off 8 out of 10 and you feel great about this team. But I'm talking about what I'm seeing and what we've seen so far. I started this season saying I expect this to be a top 4 team in the division. They are not at all playing close to that. Forget what the record says they are, where they are in the standings at the bottom. Forget that. They're just not playing like it. So, but my thought process of this is, all right, well, who did you lose? What players did you lose? Obviously, Colton Ellis. Okay. You lost Drew Callen. You lost Mackenzie McEachern. Andonovsky. Who? Who else, Steve?
That sounds like it.
Right?
Yeah, I mean,
the one, Corey Andonovsky was the forward pickup that they had midseason. They did pick up a defensive kid, and I can't even think of his name.
They traded for Addison and didn't resign
Addison, Kalen Addison. Thank you. Those are the 4 players you've lost from 5 players that you lost from last year. Of those players, you would say, okay, Colton Ellis is a big loss. That's a big void. Mackenzie McEachern, big void. Drew Callen, loved him. I think he's actually still in organization, kind of playing maybe in Worcester, still in the realm, but like you could fill that void. So now you look at who they added. Wagner. On paper, production, and even kind of what we've seen this year, I don't feel like, you lost McEachern, you gained Wagner. Call it a wash. The Colton Ellis loss was big, but if you look, goaltending has not been the problem of this season as a whole. Goaltending hasn't been the issue. So I just look at this team and you say, all right, you're 2 years in with Connor Walchuk. Well, you're 1 full year. I can't call this. You're in year 2 of Connor Walchuk. All of these young guys have a year that they've played. Stuntzel played with the team last year. He's a rookie. Yes, it's his rookie year, but he played with the team last year. You got two contributing rookies right now in Pekarchik and Susiev. They've kind of been the bright spots of the team. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing. They're not playing good hockey. They're not winning in the corners. They're not getting the puck in deep and winning. That's what hockey is about. It's about those one-on-one matchups. And they're just not doing it. Forget 0 for a dozen on the power play against Hartford on Wednesday night. Like whatever that was, 0 for 7.
8.
But I think one of them was like a 6-second penalty because I think Susiev or somebody took a silly penalty there. So
yeah, you're right.
One of them was a 5-on-3. The power play looked good. Garand was better on Wednesday. So it's like, but you're just not, you're playing hockey. Is it a rookie coach? Nope. Is it a new system? Nope. Is this all new leadership? Nope. I don't know what the problem is. That's another frustrating piece too. I don't know. I don't have the answer. This was a playoff team last year. Connor Walchuk, I know some people, some people say coaching this, are they not responding? He got him in the playoffs last. That's the confusing part. This was a playoff team last year. Connor Walchuk has been in the playoffs every year he's been a head coach at any level. I don't know.
Well, I think that you're kind of sniffing in the right area because it is the same team and it is the same bunch and the same things that buried this team last season that they struggled with are the same things they are now. I mean, the shot totals are outrageous. The special teams is not good enough. Their ability to start and finish periods in games without giving up goals, same thing as last year. Yeah. Their ability to impart their game on an opponent as opposed to let the opponent import their game on them is the same. So all of the same issues and same problems that they had last year, they have this year. And that to me is, I think last year it was maybe coaching and maybe the systems and styles weren't right. And now I think it's, from what I can see, it's more of an effort thing. I mean, guys are just kind of floating around.
They're not putting in effort. They're not.
You can't trade them all. So what are you going to do to get this fixed? And I think I question the game plans and what their goal is on a nightly basis. I don't know what their goals are on a nightly basis. And I think that there are, I think there might be a little bit of a tuning out at this point, or like, hey, we've tried this particular play for 15 months now and it never works, and, I think it was the Providence game where they did one of those slingshot power play entries, which I can't stand, but they did it with 2 guys back. So instead of 4 guys crowding the blue line, he had 3, and you had 2 guys that were able to play catch with each other and then make one pass. And it was like, I was like, wow, like, oh, that's what that's supposed to look like. You know what I mean? Like, how many times in the last 12 months have you seen a team come in and you're like, oh, that's what that's supposed to look like? That's what I think we're trying to do, but I can't really tell because it's so poorly executed. Yeah. So is the fluke the beginning of the season, or is the fluke the fact that they made the playoffs last year?
With that question, I don't think you can say 82 games. I'm sorry, is it 72 or 80? It's 82 in a season.
I think it's 80.
You can't call that a fluke. Like that, you are what you are. Right now,
but you could back into the playoffs. I mean, teams do it all the time in every sport.
They did. I mean, they were hot. I think it was easy maybe last year. You had a lot of injuries last year, significant injuries. You're missing Nicky for a long period of time. You missed Luff at the end of the year, and nobody makes excuses for that. I see it as effort, and effort can be 2 things. It can be like, all right, the coach isn't pushing the right buttons, but the coach can't. These are grown adults. Well, no, they're not all grown adults.
Some of them, yeah.
They're all professional athletes. And at the end of the day, you've got to win your battle. And when you're consistently losing pucks and down in the corner, and like I'm not kidding, like we've seen a season's worth of icing in 6 games.
It's like a wedding cake.
It's absurd. To me, it's effort. And if it's Connor Walchuk not pushing the right buttons, is it leadership not getting the most out of their teammates? I don't know what it is. Are guys disgruntled that were late send downs? Are they upset that they're not up in St. Louis? I don't know what that is. You know, is Nicky upset that he didn't get a chance in
He was
St.
hurt
Louis?
this weekend. He was hurt this weekend
he did-
again
you
anyway,
know,
and that did not look good.
Yeah. Is Dvorsky? I don't know this. Because I'm trying to make sense. This team is way too talented, and I do feel like Connor Walchuk is a good coach. Again, like every year at whatever level, he's in the playoffs. He's in the playoffs. You were in the playoffs last year, and you were an overtime victory or a victory loss away from advancing out of that first round against Providence. So I think the coaching is okay, but to your point, it's like, well, what are we watching? We're not that's not you. If you had a few call-ups from the ECHL over this weekend, I would make an excuse of, well, I kind of would expected to see what we saw. That was an AHL team on the ice, a very talented, skilled AHL team. Granted, like I'm not a huge fan of seeing Kessie and Sam Bitten on the same line. I like those players. This is nothing personal, but I think you're putting the exact same player on like, to me, it's a waste of whoever that third. If it's Peterson, you're wasting his skill set. Does that make, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a huge fan of putting Kessie and Bitten on the same line, but I understand you're already dealing with injuries. We haven't seen Simon Robertson. I don't know what's going on with him. Bring up Taryn Fizer. Where's Taryn Fizer? He's played in some spot starts and has gotten some points, so like he can get it done. Bring up Taryn Fizer, but like this is not an ECHL team for a few weeks. What, last year you got Dvorsky playing in juniors. What, Colton Ellis was called up. You had a few guys injured. So you looked at last year, there were games where 6 of the 12 forwards are not your regular guys. Okay, I expect a tough one. But when you're you still have your opening day roster minus Nicky and Cascamont, right? But like your opening day guys are there to have that showing. It was just very disappointing. And
I mean,
6 shots, Steve.
6.
Sorry, I'm 6 shots over 2 periods again against a bad team. We're a bad team too. So I guess it is what it is. But
the number that was striking to me was that they gave up 17 shots in the first period and had a grand total of 15. Like Hartford outshot. Hartford had more shots in the first than you had all game, which is like,
and it's
makes
effort.
my head hurt. It is. It's effort.
It's effort.
But I mean, like I want to look at Providence. Like,
yeah,
if we looked at Providence and their roster, I don't think it is. I feel like for every guy they have, you have. Like, they got Merkulov and Lysell and Patra, and it's like, okay, cool. Well, you have Alexandrov, Dvorsky, and Stenberg.
Agreed.
I don't think there's anything different than that in that group. And they have Michael DiPietro. Cool. You got Vadim Zarenko.
Agreed.
And so even on the back end, it's all kind of the same. And so what's the difference? Effort, compete, game plan, heart. Where does that all come from? And without saying what I want to say, I think that Ryan Mujanel knows exactly what he's doing. And I think that his players have belief in the system that he's putting in, and they have buy-in at practice, and they have buy-in at games, and they want to play for him. And I don't know if that's happening here. And whether that's on the coach or on the players, they don't take really bad penalties. They do well on special teams. They don't get outshot 2-1. Why? What are they doing that we're not doing? Because I think the roster For every Riley Tufte, we have a Chris Wagner.
Right.
For every Patrick Brown, we have a Matthew Pekka.
Yeah.
I mean, so to me, it's not about, there's something else there. It's not the roster. It's not, well, this team sucks, these players aren't good. It's not any of that. It's something else. What is that other thing? I can't put my finger on it.
Yeah.
I can. I just
No, I hear you. And again, we're saying 6 games in. If this team rattles off 8 out of 10, you're like, oh, there they are. But again, I do believe this, and this is me as a fan. When you feel like your team isn't playing well, then you call them out on it, because that just, you don't call them out and you don't cross line. Wouldn't stand for, you don't personally attack anybody. You don't say anything personal. I'm calling it what I see. I'm not seeing effort, and I believe if we saw effort, this team wins more games than they lose.
Well, when you see effort, you beat Hershey 5-1.
Yeah,
which they did. I mean, they played their tails off in that Hershey game, and what do you know? They came away with a win.
Yeah.
And so why isn't that happening more consistently? That to me is really the issue. And I don't know, like I said, I don't know what, I mean, and even just some of the stuff is just sort of like boneheaded, like stuff that you're like,
you got a 2-on-1.
What did you do that for?
2-on-1 last night, or not last night. We're watching this on Wednesday. Saturday's game, you got 2-on-1 Luff, and it ends up in the Hartford Wolfpack defender's skates. Like, come on, guys.
And not only that, but he slowed down. And I think the other thing is, I believe the 2-on-1, the other player was Cale Kessie. And so with all due respect to Cale Kessie, who I love because he terrifies me, I'm pretty sure every single person in the entire building knew that Matt Luff was not going to pass to Cale Kessie.
But he ended up into the skates.
Yeah. And Luff even slowed down, which gave, I don't know why, which gave the defenseman time to get back to block the pass or the shot or whatever he ended up doing. But there's been times where I'm looking, especially this weekend on ice level, where I'm like, what was that? Mm-hmm. Like, to be a sequence, I'm like, what was that? Like, what were they trying to accomplish? Like, what's the goal here? And it's not even like, oh, like you said, it's not, this guy sucks and that guy sucks. It's like, what we're like, was your brain on Planet Zippy there for a second? Like, what happened?
I'm not seeing players fight for the puck at the boards. I'm not seeing players win their one-on-one battles. I'm not seeing players compete at levels we've seen them compete at before. Like, this is not a new team. And that's the frustrating part. You're like, I think there have been more additions than subtractions this year. Granted, I'm 1 year older. I've got new aches and pains. Pekka's a year older. Luff's a year older. Wagner's a year older. But I don't know. I don't know.
Right? No, I hear you.
Just win a one-on-one battle. Fight for the puck against the boards. You get the puck down deep, and then you're just letting them clear it, and they're clearing it with ease out of the neutral zone. And I'm talking about the Wolfpack and the Bruins. It's not like and so, I don't know. I think, on a positive note,
well, can I say one other negative thing?
Please do. Yeah.
If they think that they can go in there and give 80% effort when Bridgeport's given 100, when Lehigh Valley, Wilkes-Barre, Charlotte, Rochester, Syracuse, you're going to give 80% effort, you're going to lose to all those teams.
100%.
You're going to lose. You need the effort. It's got to be there.
Ironically, like, that shouldn't have to be said to a professional team. Like, I had to have that conversation with my U11 soccer team today after practice. And I'm not kidding you. Tyler will tell you, like, I kind of reamed them out because I'm breaking down practice and we're talking about how the weekend went, and they're goofing around and picking each other's ears and goofing around. What are you doing, boys? You're going to get your, what's handed to you on Saturday. You think you're just going to walk in there and, like, focus. Right. That's my U11. I'm teaching my U11 boys to do this. We shouldn't, like, if you're a professional athlete, you already know that. You better come in and give 100% effort. I'm not seeing that in these first 6 games.
And
for whatever reason.
Well, that's the big thing. If you want to blame it on aches and pains and effort and stuff in February, when we've already played 45 games, maybe not 6 games in. It can't happen 6 games in. If the game plan is still new and fresh and guys are still learning and blah blah, fine. But at least skate.
Yeah.
Move your feet, you know? So, anyway, you were going to say something positive and I stole your thunder.
Tough start to that second period. He did not get much help in front of him from the defense. I do think, Zarenko has played well early in this season. I do. I don't think Romanov has played poorly.
Nope.
He played well enough. I thought he did his part in Hershey. I thought he played well enough in Hershey. Like I said, Hershey got that empty net goal, or the 2 empty nets, if I'm not mistaken, right? It was 3-1 when Connor Walchuk put the goalie. So Romanov gave up those 3 goals, but he made some lights out saves, and you just needed a little bit of offensive spark. And you're watching that game in Hershey thinking like, all right, Romanov is on his game. You're not getting any more past him. All you needed was some sort of offensive rhythm. And you're like, all right, you could win that, right? So I don't think goaltending has been the issue. That's kind of my positive note.
I'll expound on that too. I thought both goalies. I thought the effort from the goalies was exactly what we needed.
Yeah,
I thought that both goalies played their tails off. I thought that they were both put in tough spots. I think that they were relying on the players in front of them to clear pucks, clear bodies, make passes, clear the zone, and it wasn't happening. And I understand why they pulled Romanov, but if you watch whatever that was, 3 goals in a short period of time, I mean, go back and watch him and ask yourself, okay, well, how many should he have had? Or because guys aren't just
and
he makes a save and then the puck is still kicking around. And you're like, well, this is eventually going to go in, and then it does, and you're like, oh, right, of course, because we can't get it out.
Not every time a goalie is pulled is. And I don't want to sound like I'm always a goalie sympathizer and like always sticking up for the goalies. Like,
I don't mind. I will.
Bad goals are let in, but not every time you pull a goalie, it's because the goalie is playing poor. It's to like, how else do you get your team going? Like, boys, what do you like? How else do you do that? So you pull the goalie in hopes that it sparks better play. And a lot of comments on our fan rants, which we'll get into, talk about why last year the team seemed to play better in front of Ellis. Now they seem to play better in front of Zarenko. Like, and I'm kind of over that. Like, it doesn't matter who's behind the pipes or who's behind you. Play hockey. And I think the play, like, it's just optics and you could be seeing what you're wanting to see if that's how you feel, but it shouldn't matter who's behind you. It shouldn't matter who's between the pipes. Play hockey. And
we got that straight from the horse's mouth. Was it Joey Duzak we interviewed that time? We asked him about Malcolm Subban versus Zarenko, and he's like, I don't care who's back there. We got to play our game. I mean, I think we've asked several players, and they're all just like, dude, it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant.
Yeah.
But you got to play.
And we haven't seen much of that yet. Early in the season. But again, deep breath by me, deep breath by everybody. You're 6 games in. Has this team showed me that they are a playoff team this year? No. Have they showed me last year that they're a playoff team? Yes. And that's like it's the same team, guys. It is. Minus Ellis. But goaltending has been fine. It's the other stuff. It's putting pucks off your goalie's feet 15 seconds into a season. It's having a puck skip over your stick early in the first period to give up a goal. It's
and they've had some. I admit they've had. I mean that goal not counting, that shorthanded goal by Schoenemann Saturday night that hit the guy in the face and went in.
Yeah,
that's it's the rule. I don't like the rule. I think it's kind of a dumb rule, but it's a rule nonetheless.
Yeah,
because the rule says you can't shoot the puck and score when your guy's in the zone. And I would counter that. We'll say, well, Schuneman didn't shoot it. He went to dump it in. He didn't hit. If you're playing video games, he didn't hit the joystick. He hit the pass button, and it just so happened to just donk the guy in the face. So
to me, that's and I'm with you, Ryan. Thank you, because you did. I'm actually on my phone getting ready to text, friend of the show, Casey Terreri, asking for clarification on a rule. And then Ryan, you did a great job reading the rule. And he's right. The rule is what it was, the right call to make. I don't like it. What's the difference? Delayed penalty, hand is up. Players skating in their own D zone, they accidentally knock it in when the goalie's already made his way to the bench. It's a goal.
Right.
This was the same thing. Schuneman sent it in. McGing was offsides because he didn't get past the blue line yet. So okay, McGing can't play it, but why can't I send it in?
Right.
If the other player knocks it in the goal, who cares?
My question too is, if there was a delayed penalty on Hartford and the ref was waiting for Hartford to get a touch to blow the whistle, and Schuneman does that and hits the Hartford guy in the face, let's say it doesn't go in, it just hits the guy in the face. Is that enough for the ref to blow the whistle and say you have possession? And my answer to that is probably no.
No, I'm almost confident. I'm fairly confident the answer is no, because we've asked Casey that question point blank, because Jake had that question. You can shoot on a delayed penalty. You can shoot, and if it ricochets off the goalie, you're not blowing it dead. It has to be like intended possession of the puck for it to be blown dead. I would like that rule on a delayed offsides to reflect that for that reason. This probably happens once every 4 years.
I've never seen
this before.
Never seen it.
Right? Garand misplayed the puck, so he was out of his net to begin with, but it shouldn't be a disallowed goal. I think you need to look back at that rule and use it like if you have a clear shot on goal, fine, but a deflection off of the defensive player should nullify, in my opinion.
No, I agree. Rule. I agree. So
otherwise, what's the point of playing that you don't even need a goalie in that situation?
It was the right call, but I just don't like the rule. So we want to hear from you guys in our fan rants. But before we do, I need you guys to listen up. This is new. This is a new thing, and it's awesome. And after the summer that I've had, I'm telling you right now from personal experience, it is totally worth it, because the fan rants this week are brought to you by our friends at Landscaping That Fits, keeping Western Massachusetts lawns green, healthy, and looking their best, as mine does even still underneath all those leaves. But right now, listen up. You can save 20% on your 2026 fertilizing program when you sign up before December 31st. Here's the kicker. You don't even have to prepay. All you have to do is schedule it, and you'll save 20% off the application. It's 6 fertilizer treatments, a fall lime, crabgrass prevention, broadleaf weed control, summer iron, grub control, insect protection, all those things that you don't even know your lawn needs, but thankfully he does. And that's why my lawn looks as awesome as it does. Now, what you have to do is go to landscapingthatfits.com, click get a quote at the top of the page, and mention the code word SRG20. So you have to type in SRG20 to get the 20%, or you can call 847-0338 and say, hey, Rob, I was listening to the podcast. The Thunderbirds are in a tough spot, huh? Come take care of my lawn, and he'll do it. Okay, never mind. So yes, that's SRG20, landscapingthatfits.com. And after you get a quote, put that in and get 20% off of your fertilizing for the entire year. Totally worth it. Rob's awesome. And again, I'm not just up here selling stuff. Like my lawn, come over. It's freaking awesome. I'm not, it's beautiful. Too beautiful. I got to mow again because it's so nice. So definitely landscapingthatfits.com by our friends at TDS Center for Communication and Social Learning. With its unique location in the center of Amherst, it allows for clients and groups to enjoy the social constructs of city life. Founder Teresa Dooley-Smith is a leader within the speech and language community, continuing to find innovative ways to meet the needs of all individuals. If you want more information on the wonderful folks at TDS Center for Communications and Social Learning, and you want to talk to Teresa and her husband as well, Brian, who does work there as well, you can go to info@tdsspeech.com. tdsspeech.com. That's an email address, info@tdsspeech.com. tdsspeech.com is the website, or 413-835-0735. Big thank you to them for supporting us and for all the awesome work that you guys do for young people and young families right here in our backyard in Western Massachusetts. And by MCU Training Center. That's the MassCon United. It's your one-stop facility for all your training needs, regardless of your talent level. MCU has room for you to improve your craft. Training for soccer, lacrosse, baseball, golf, hockey, floor hockey, field hockey, weight training, agility. And don't forget, they also do birthday parties as well, which we've actually gone to one, and it was a good time. Kids had fun. So you can do that as well, rather than have them sit around, goofing off. Go burn off some energy at the MCU Training Center, 413-301-6040, mcutrainingcenter.com in Agawam, right over the bridge from the Big E. Now, something tells me that this was the busiest fan rant that we've had in a long time. And I don't think we have to or will read them all. But we will get to as many. I got to be honest, we're kind of in the spot here where we can pick and choose the ones that we want that are for A, content, and B, just maybe we already said it or everybody kind of already knows. So I don't know if you have it pulled up here, Matt, if you have something.
I just want to go with one, Nick Fazio. And look, I'm reading this one partly because he does bring up an interesting point at the end, but also has a different opinion than mine. And as a fan, I think I want to just highlight, we could have different opinions on it. We don't have to attack each other on it. But again, like I said at the beginning, if I feel like the team is playing a certain way, I'm going to do that. I'm still going to support them. I'm still going to watch them. I'm still going to cheer on every game, sit on the couch and watch them with my kids, and love this team for what they do and are for the community. That will never go away, right? But here we go. Nick Fazio, as a positive, I think this team appears to be working hard. While the results aren't there, they aren't playing close to a 60-minute game. When they're down, they certainly try to climb back into games. It's real early, but the talent and depth-wise, I think the biggest need is a right-handed defenseman, which would allow the forwards to get more looks. Feels like the talent is there for the forwards. They just aren't finishing consistently. So obviously, I partly disagree. I don't think they're working very hard. I think that's a result. You look at all the icings. I think they are not winning puck battles in the corners. I don't think they're hustling to the boards and challenging. And then if they do, they're losing those battles. So I disagree with you a little bit there, Nick. But you bring up good points. They have been down and climbed back into games. They tied Providence 3-3. So they're not giving up. But where is the effort for a 60-minute game in the first month of the season? We haven't seen it yet.
And again, you shouldn't be down 3-0. The reason why you're down 3-0 is because you didn't have that effort, and then you put in the effort to tie the game, and then you just give up a complete backbreaker with about a minute and a half left. So it's like I don't know.
But I do like that the point of another right-handed defenseman. That that might be something. I don't know if the team already. If again, this is the roster that they constructed for opening night. So I don't know how fast you want to abandon ship. But maybe another right-handed stick would help on the blue line there. But at this point, it doesn't matter if you're a right-handed stick or a left-handed stick. You got to clear the puck.
Do your skates work?
Yeah.
I mean, that's my, whatever you're shooting with, do your skates work? Can you move? Can you get up and down the ice? Can you be faster than the opponent? Al said, it's funny. A lot of these did have, I was kind of surprised at how many of these were actually relatively positive. I got to be honest, because we know what we're dealing with and we know what we saw with our eyes. Al says, if they're going to have a losing streak, I'd rather it be now than in the middle of the end of the season when it counts. It's not where you start, but where you finish. This team is a bunch of good players. Once they click, we're going to start winning. I agree, Al. The only thing that I'll say is that when this team clicks, why haven't they clicked yet? And we can go into Tommy Cross. You don't know what you have till November. That's fine. All we've talked about on this show, a lot of the show coming into it, was we have a very similar team to last year. Everybody's a year older. Everybody's played together. Everybody should be on the same page, and they're not. And, not have the losing streak now than at the end of the year. I agree, but at the same time, this season's start so far is a reflection of the home opener. If you're going to give up a goal 15 seconds in, you're chasing the entire game. You're just chasing and chasing and chasing. And so if you're going to go 1-5, or you're going to go 2-8, or you're going to start your season that way, now you're already chasing and chasing and chasing and chasing. And it's not even Halloween, and you're already chasing the series, the season. So I don't want to chase. And I'm not saying you got to be like Providence and go out there and win your first 4 games, but you can't chase the season straight out the gate. It's just not the best way to do it. So is there a good time for a losing streak? I don't know. But again, I'm always the beginning and the end. The beginning of the period, don't let up a goal. The end of the period, don't give up a goal. Same thing with the season. Can't have your losing streak the first week, the first month. Can't have your losing streak the last month. It's got to hide it in February or something like that. If that makes any sense. Like,
no, it does. It does, and I tend to agree with you. I mean, you put yourself in a hole now where you have to go on a 4-game winning streak just to get even.
Make up ground. Yeah, just to make up ground.
Just to get even. So, like I said, can this team rattle off 8 out of 10? Sure.
Yep.
And now you'll find yourself in 6th place because other teams are going to win too. Yep. So, but Al, you're right. You are right where it's early in the season. And am I writing off the season? Absolutely not. It's just been a frustrating start to it. Very, very challenging start to it. Ryan, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to real quick to Daniel Flynn. He says, a challenging week. I'm staying calm. Again, notes of positivity in there. I believe we need to consider rearranging the lines. How would either of you approach that? Real quick, 2 quick things. Number 1, I would dress Sam or Kale. I don't think you need them both. So I'd go one or the other. And Devo, Pekarchik, Nikki on Saturday. Within the first period, Ryan said twice in the first period, the Devo, Pekarchik, Nikki line had 45 plus seconds in ozone sequences. So twice for 2 separate minutes, they just dominated the zone. Now, of course,
that was Nikita Susiev.
Pekarchik. No, Nikita Alexandrov. Pekarchik.
I thought didn't he miss Saturday's game?
This was Friday night against.
Right. Okay.
Against in
Providence.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Because this is the game I took just immense notes. I don't know if you took a look at those notes that I sent you, Matt. I took ridiculously extensive notes for absolutely no good reason. But yeah, so it hurts when you have Nikki, don't have Nikki, and it hurts when you have guys, McGing was out. Now he's back in, but now Stunsel's out. So now you got to fit, and now Alexandrov's out, and now Robertson's out, and now you're playing Sam and Kale because you're out of other options. And so we talk about chasing the game. I hope we're not chasing the season with all these injuries, because we've done that the last couple of years and it hasn't been fun.
Yeah. Friend of the show, she's been on, Lisa Pignatare. That's Pignatary?
Pignatare, I think. Yeah. Okay. Lisa's awesome.
Yes. We have a bunch of individuals, not a team. They need to create a better defense. You can't have the goaltenders be the only ones trying to stop the puck in the zone. And I agree. Like there's talent up and down. They just aren't clicking yet. And again, if this is a first year team put together, I'm like, hey, give them time to gel. But why isn't Nikita, Alexandrov, Pekka, and Luff? They had a whole year last year together, minus some injury time. They played all year. Like, what happened that doesn't gel? Dalibor Dvorsky, Hugh McGing, and Otto Stenberg played great last year. Dvorsky and Kaskamaki, they had chemistry last year. Like, what happens in an off season that chemistry goes away and you need to re-find it again? I don't know, but you're not seeing anything really clicking just yet. I expect that from Nikita Susuyev. I expect that from Uri Pekarchik,
who I love. He had a really nice weekend. He did.
Dylan Peterson's one of my favorite players, but he's kind of been underwhelming. But again, I'm confused by why you're burying Dylan Peterson on a line with Sam and Kale because what ultimately has happened is now you're just picking and choosing what line he goes in. And that's got to be tough too, to find a feel for this line. But, at the end of the day, it's hockey and you just got to play hockey. And
Daniel, they played 6 games. I'd like to think at least 2, maybe 3. They've gone 11 forwards, 7 defensemen.
Yeah.
Which to me is like, how can you generate any chemistry and any gel when you have guys? I mean, McGing started off Saturday in between Sam and Kale and started the second period with Dvorsky and I'll call it Peterson, somebody else. But they put the lines in the blender early on Saturday. And I think that might be a part of it, is just having a little bit of consistency. Even if you have 1 or 2 lines that are just consistent bodies, I think you'd be in better shape. But again, when you're having injuries and stuff like that, it's easier said than done. I have 3 of your rants here that are all kind of the same talking point. Why didn't the T-Birds coach start with Big Z in goal for Saturday? This is our friend Katrina. Why didn't the T-Birds coach start with Big Z in goal for Saturday's game? I understand he started on Friday, but if he was smart to put the new guy in goal on Friday in Providence, we would have had a better turnout for Saturday's game over the Wolfpack. Matty D says Z's been very good in goal. Romanov not so much. We need more goal support in the defense to be stronger. And then William Grissetti says need stronger goaltending. Romanov lets in too many soft goals. Anything above his pads is a goal. But again, then he says team has slow starts to games. Too much playing from behind. Where's the ready to play? 4 shots in 1 period. All right, so all those things you mentioned are why you don't think Romanov looks very good, in my opinion. And again, do I kind of suck up to the goalies a little bit? I don't know. I just there's 6 guys on the ice, and he's the last line of defense. If the puck gets there, that means that the other 5 guys have failed. So, and Katrina, why did they start the goalies that way? I honestly think, if my recollection, I feel like Colton Ellis usually started at home and Z usually started on the road. I feel like Z's better on the road than he is at home. And Romanov, you got to figure out, maybe he wants to be in front of that home crowd. He wants that energy. He wants to sort of feed off that. But I feel like Z, over the course of his history, has been stronger in road games than home games.
Yeah, I would have played it the same way. And we talked about this in last week's episode. I think Z does play better on the road, but especially in Providence. He plays Providence well.
He does.
And you give Georgi Romanov an opportunity to play in front of the home crowd for the first time in only the second home game of the year. That's another thing too, right? They haven't had a lot of home games. But so I would have played that probably in the same way.
Because I'm just reading these.
Some of these, yeah. Yeah. Jason Paninsky, can we decline penalties like they do in the NFL? Has to be more productive than the power play right now. Interesting thought. I think as far as the power play goes, I thought the power play looked okay against Hartford in the first period. Garand was just better. And it kind of turned around. They had a few. I honestly didn't pull up the box scores for the 2 games over the weekend, because why? But I think they had 2 or 3 power play goals over the weekend. It would be interesting if you could.
4, believe it or not.
Did they have? Yeah. So I mean, like, I
Sunday.
An 0 for 8. An 0 for 7
3
in Hartford on Wednesday. It was bad. And you had a 5-on-3. So I agree with you. Not good. But, you're really, when you're setting up the power play, you're looking for that one shot. And I know you don't like the slingshot, and I get it. Personally, like, I think that's kind of like the new trend. Like, a lot of teams in the NHL are using it. And to me, it's less about the slingshot and what you do once you do get the puck down low. You've got to win that battle. You've got to win the puck in your 2-on-1 battle against the boards on a power play. You just got to win the puck,
right.
So it's less about how you get into the zone. It's, in my opinion, it's more about what you do when you get there. I still don't see the team very much trying to move the puck horizontally, left to right, down low. Even if you send it behind the net, if you can, like if you get the puck down low to Nikita Alexandrov or Dvorsky. I know Dvorsky likes that shot in the circle there, but move the puck around, get the goalie moving side to side. Instead, you just play on one side of the ice for the majority of the moving the puck vertically. That's what I'd like to see a little shift in. But
just to sort of piggyback on that, we were talking about power of special teams. There was one point on Saturday where I think it was Berard and Loof got matching roughing penalties. And I looked to the guy next to me and I was like, we know we're not shorthanded, right? Like it's 4-on-4, not 4-on-3. Like we're not shorthanded. So I got a lot of those vibes. Two people with very differing opinions that are saying the exact same thing. The post that you made, Matt, let's hear your rants about this weekend's game. Paul Wheeler said no. That wasn't good at all. He just said no. I don't even want to give you a rant. And Tom Courtney said I'd like to complain about everything. So one guy says no, one guy says yes, and they're saying the same thing. So yeah. I don't know. I thought those were funny that's what I was giggling at when you were reading.
Yeah.
And you know what? Somebody mentioned here, and I don't have it here, but somebody talked about Loof's goal. They said Loof's goal was because they just shot the puck. They shoot the puck. They shoot. You shoot it. You never know.
Weird how that happens.
Just fire it. Like just.
Yeah.
I mean, I've talked about Sean Thornton on the show before, but just if you shoot it low on net, you never know what's going to happen. And soccer guys, right? You want them, if you're going to miss the net, miss it low. It could hit something. It could bounce off somebody. You get a rebound. Like miss low, but shoot. You gotta shoot. You gotta shoot. You gotta shoot.
Yep.
So
that's all I got. I mean, I don't have any more fan rants. We appreciate. We've had over 30 fan rants this week. We're running out of time on the show this week, so I don't want to read any more. But and I think too, I'm taking a deep breath, and I'm saying this for myself. The frustration is there because we do love this team.
Right.
I'm never gonna not. And again, as a fan, if you don't like the product that you're seeing, like I don't have a problem venting that. Otherwise, you can't sleep at night sometimes as a fan because it drives you nuts. Never stop supporting the Thunderbirds. Everything they do for the community, everything they do for Springfield and then the surrounding area, everything they do for kids and giving families the opportunity to, I say this countless times, just make memories with your kids. Because that's what life's all about, is making memories. And when you go to the Thunderdome, you're going to make a memory with your kids. They do such a good job. It's a top-notch organization. We're just disappointed with a 1-5 start, as we should be. This is a team that the front office has put more into. Their partnership with St. Louis, I think, put more into. And, if you go 1-5 in January, we might not even notice it.
Right.
You
could have the same stretch in January and it would go right by the wayside.
The problem is just like we said. All right, well, Wilkes-Barre Scranton is 7-0 right now. Providence is 6-0. So sure, we go 8-10. Or win 8 out of 10, and we could find ourselves in, like I said, 6th place because those other teams are going to win too. So you're just putting yourself in a hole that can you climb out of? Yes, absolutely. Is there enough talent on this team? Yes, absolutely. Are the players? I don't think any of them will be happy and say, no, I'm going to keep doing exactly what I'm doing, right? Like I always take it as a coach or as a player when I did play at high school and prep school and college. Like anytime you lose, that's an opportunity to reflect and say, all right, I got to do something better because I lost. So I'm sure they're doing that, but they're probably more level-headed than we are. As fans, we ride the highs and we ride the lows way too much. As a professional athlete, you've got to find that middle. And I've always said that about the team. Do they do that too much? Do you want to see more emotion from these guys? And there is enough talent on this team. And I think there's enough knowledge on the coaching staff to get them out of this funk. It's surprising that it's to this group happened this early. And it is you're not seeing like it. Sometimes it just comes down to effort and win your one-on-one battle. Do that. And you say it all the time. Puck luck happens because you're working.
You're working hard.
Right now, we don't have any puck luck because we're not working.
Hard work creates puck luck. There's no doubt in my mind. And we're going to find out quick because we have another 3-3 coming up this weekend.
First 3-3 of the season.
First one, and this one is beefy. You have Hershey on Halloween.
Yep.
That is on Friday, 7:05. Wear your costume. I'm gonna look dapper. I'm sure they're gonna. I think they mentioned they're gonna have candy, like trick or treating areas for the kids and stuff like that. So Hershey Friday night, Charlotte Saturday night, Bridgeport Sunday. So, 3 teams that they've battled hard with, that have played them really well, particularly Bridgeport. But like I said, if you go into any 3 of these games given at 85%, you're going to go over 3 in terms of effort. So, 2 home games, Friday, Saturday, on the road Sunday. I assume you're going to see Z twice, Romanov once, would just be my guess. I don't know that, but that would be my guess. And I don't know. I feel good about it. I feel like this is a good opportunity for them to sort of check yourselves, think about what's going on, and maybe they're gripping the sticks a little too tight. Maybe they just need to
relax,
go play a little street ball. Go out there, play a little street hockey, and see
like
what
the Mighty Ducks, right? They had to, when they were playing for the junior Goodwill games, they had to play a little street puck to find it again. And maybe you're right. When it rains, it pours, right? And sometimes you just need a game. A 3-3 is a good opportunity to get right, because guess what? You lose the game. Guess what you're doing tomorrow? You're playing again. Guess what you're doing the next day? Playing again. And if you put yourself in a hole, the best way to climb out of that is when you play teams on top of you, right? And you've got a 3-3 coming up with the 4th, 5th, and 6th place team in your division. And the Sunday Bridgeport game is the first of 3 in a row against Bridgeport.
Ooh.
So you're finishing the 3-3 with Bridgeport away, and then you play them home the following week, and then away again on a week from Saturday. So you've got 6 straight division games right now. So guess what you need to do?
W's.
Win, right?
And drag them to overtime if you have to.
You kind of need you need points every game you can get, because you dug yourself in this hole. If you want to climb out of it and level the playing field, you got 6 divisional games in a row. Got to get points.
Look, and I know some of you might not be thrilled that the game is on Halloween. I think they need a loud Thunderdome this weekend. I think Friday, Saturday, I think you guys need to be loud and positive and productive. And look, if they have a stretch like they had in the second there, where Hartford scored 3 goals in what felt like 40 seconds. Yeah, I understand your feelings that you're going to feel, but I do think there has to be a just slight level of patience for them to get it together. And I think I want the dome to be loud and rocking and a good time. And I sense that that's the case. People I talk to who don't go to games often were like, "Oh, this was a great after Saturday. Oh, this was a great time. I had a great time." I'm like, "Did you watch the game?" But you know what? If they're having a good time, good. I'm glad they're having a good time. So, be there, be loud. Big thank you to our friends at MCU Training Center, Mascon United Training Center in Agawam for all your training needs. By our friends at TDS Center for Communication and Social Learning in Amherst, and by our friends at Landscaping That Fits. Again, go to the website, code SRG20 will get you 20% off your fertilizers for the entire 2026 year. And let me tell you, it's worth it. He just does a sparkling job. My lawn is phenomenal. I can't speak enough about it. So, and again, fall cleaning, call Rob. He'll come get all your leaves as well. But really, thank you to those 3. Thank you to everybody for listening, watching, participating, getting in touch with us. Fan Rants, going to the games, supporting the team, supporting local businesses in Western Mass. And whether you're at Red Rose or you're at Nadim's or you're across the street, Thank you. Thank you for doing what you do on behalf of the team. I'll just say thank you because we appreciate the full building. You had more fans on Saturday than Providence had on Friday night.
Yeah.
And their barn's a lot bigger than your barn. So well done. Nice job.
Yeah. Well, look, and that's why we're passionate, because we care, right? And so, listen, I'll be trick-or-treating. Friday night is Jake's birthday, so we won't be at the Thunderdome, but we will be trick-or-treating, and I will have my phone on and watching Flow TV on my phone, yelling in the middle of the street when the T-Birds score goals, and watching all weekend. This is what I'll be doing. I'm frustrated, but I will be watching. I will be supporting and cheering this team on. Thank you to our sponsors. Thank you to our fans. Thank you to the Fan Rants. Thank you, Springfield Thunderbirds, for allowing us this platform. And hey, big 3-3. Let's get some points. Let's get some dubs. Let's go, T-Birds.
Please don't fire me.